All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I'm your host, Tom Vays. How's my audio? How's my video? Test number 2 of the new internet. As those of you that watched me yesterday know that my connection just stopped because once again, the new internet that was installed a few hours prior cut out and did not let me back in for 5 minutes. And that's all the window you have to come back to the same YouTube stream. And after that, got to start a new one, which I was not intending on doing. So this is round 2. Not only am I on my Panamanian internet, I am also through a VPN just to see, because once you run a VPN, your speed slows by 50%. This is one of the problems with VPNs, is it cuts your bandwidth by about 50%. So we will see how today goes. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Can you do a deep dive on MSTR? Some weird stuff going on. I don't know. I have not been Googling MSTR. Let's go to the charts though. Once again, Zoom is being difficult, so I gotta manually check the health of my stream. Very happy you converted your shitcoins into Bitcoin, and you're very happy about it. That's the most important part, that you are happy with the results. I got a bunch of Hex idiots all over my Twitter live feed today. It's one of the problems with Twitter. Like, there's no IQ, barrier to use Twitter. It's one of its downfalls. All right, that's muted. Okay, cool. So let's go to the chart. No, I can't do Russian on this channel. Sorry. You'll have to turn on subtitles, but I think those only work after the stream ends. So I still believe that we are going to top on current candle or early next candle. I still think this is a very formidable resistance. And even if the SEC comes back with the greatest of news, I think Bitcoin price will rally for a little while off that news and then drop back down. Okay? Guys, tune in tomorrow to the Financial Summit YouTube channel, which will attempt to do a live stream for the first time. It will be hosted by Matt McGregor of Alpha Numerics and perhaps another host. I will be a guest. Right now, we are hosting, Twitter Spaces where I am a guest. Clearly, you can see that this page is not loading very well. One day, we all will stop using Zoom. The moment you start using Zoom, your computer starts having issues. So I don't know what's going on here. My reasoning for the ETF not being approved is because the SEC doesn't want to give you scam ETFs. The biggest scam right now that's still active is probably Hex, along with Bcash. And if the SEC approves a Bitcoin ETF, they might be forced to approve an Ethereum ETF and other scam shitcoin ETFs, like a Hex, like a BitConnect. BitConnect still exists. It's more legitimate than Hex. and other, scammy shitcoins. So my reasoning has always been that the SEC is not interested in being flooded with applications for 3,000 scammy, unlicensed security fraud ETFs. And if they approve a Bitcoin ETF, they may not have a choice but to approve scammy ETFs. I don't know how they're going to weasel out of not doing an Ethereum ETF after doing a Bitcoin ETF. And after they do an Ethereum ETF, how can they weasel out of doing a Tron ETF? Because Tron is also a proof of stake scam. So they will be forced to start approving these other ETFs. And that is my number one reason as to why they have no interest in approving a Bitcoin ETF. Why did I change my mind? I haven't. Right? I still think there is a 60% chance it's not going to be approved. Everyone else thinks it's 100% certainty that the ETF is going to be approved. I don't know what the SEC is going to do. Did I sell my GBTC shares? I can't say if I sold them or not, but you guys know what I'm thinking if you listen to the Twitter space. If you guys go and listen to this Twitter space right here, you should know what I did or plan to do with my GBTC shares later today. I shouldn't have to spell it out for you. So if you have not yet listened to this podcast on the Financial Summit YouTube channel with myself and Joe Calasari and Simon Dixon talking about the GBTC and what's going to happen to GBTC, you really should go and listen to it right after the show right here. And thank you for subscribing, by the way. The Financial Summit YouTube channel got like 200 or 300 subscribers just the other day alone. And there hopefully will be a live video on it tomorrow during or right before and maybe right after the SEC announces what they plan to do with the Bitcoin ETF and stuff. I don't understand how anyone can be in a hole in GBTC. Like, unless you got in at the very, very top, like it's hard to be in a hole in GBTC. I don't know. Maybe my moderators can send me your question. There's just a bunch there. I can't have dead air trying to find. Like, I don't understand how anyone can be in a hole in GBTC, right? Like, you had to have gotten in like at the very, very top and not have the ability to add to that position. So, like, the only way you're in a hole in GBTC is if you literally only got in over here. You got in over here and you never added to your position. That is the only way you can be in a hole. I mean, there's really no other way, right? I mean, you also could have gotten in over here, but it's the same thing, right? And then never added to your position down here. So I mean, it's why would anyone be holding LTC GBT? Like, I don't understand. No, I wouldn't be able to. Like, I can check LTCN, but like I wouldn't have like I'm not gonna waste programming time building my own. This thing was not easy to build. There's a lot of code involved here in figuring out what the right discount rate is. Like, I'm not gonna have that for Litecoin's version. Like, why would anyone hold LTCN? Yeah, like I don't understand. I don't understand why you would ever hold this. Like, I can understand why you would be in a losing position if you're holding this. Did Litecoin crash? Well, maybe. I mean, here's Litecoin's week. Litecoin is down 5% against Bitcoin. It's a bad week, and it's down 36%. Like, I have no idea. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Everyone is getting out of the Litecoin. You got to realize that these products by Grayscale, they have their own liquidity mechanism. And if no one wants to hold LTCN, the discount is going to drop hard. It's a squeeze. Why do Grayscale have LTC? Grayscale had Ripple. Do you guys realize? See, this is the problem. Grayscale trusts. Like, if you look at Grayscale trusts, crypto investment products, look at this. Look at this garbage. They have a Zcash trust. They have Stellar. They have Solana. There isn't a single scam coin that I don't even know what the hell Live Peer is, right? I've never even heard of it, right? I'm surprised they don't have a BitConnect version. They have a Chainlink. Obviously, they'll have Btrash. They have some kind of a DeFi thing, right? And trust me, they've attempted to put every one of these scams onto the stock market for a ticker. I don't think they let them put Zcash in there, right? Like, I'm not sure. Obviously, GBTC is a tradable ticker on the stock market. And Litecoin one, where the hell is Litecoin? LTCN is, and Ethereum is, but I don't know what other ones are. Like, it's possible they have, the basic attention token as a tradable ticker on the stock market. But they tried. I guarantee you they tried. These people, all they care about is money. Do they have a BSV? Probably. Probably. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, Barry Silbert probably loves it. I mean, there isn't a scam Barry Silbert doesn't respect. He loves them all. And this is probably why he got fired. And I'm happy he got fired. And this is what's going to happen to the SEC. Like, the moment the SEC allowed Grayscale to do Bitcoin, Grayscale immediately launched a shit ton of scams. That Coinbase did the same shit. So this is why I believe the SEC has been reluctant to allow a Bitcoin ETF, because they see the Pandora's box that's going to get open. Like, see, look at this. Grayscale scams other than the Ethereum scam right here in one trust. I mean, Riot wouldn't be my first choice for a tradable mining company, but yeah, you got to if you want exposure to Bitcoin, you have plenty of choices. Anyway, our allocation chart has not changed yet. Let me see what it looks like tomorrow morning. This is a beautiful candle, by the way. Look at Tone's volume, guys. This is why Tone's volume is a really cool indicator. I know nobody has it. Look, right here, the volume is red on TradingView's volume and Tone Vays volume. Right here on this candle, both volumes are green. But look what's happening on the following candle. The Tone Vays volume is green. TradingView volume is red. The following candle, Tone Vays volume is green. Traditional is red. Then yellow, which is a caution, but not negative. And traditional is red. And then look what happens, the big breakout. This is why Tone volume is so useful to me, the T volume, T-vol, is that it told me throughout this whole time that under the hood, things are looking well. It's kind of similar to what CMF does. See, CMF is rising, telling you that under the hood, things are going fine. Even though if you look at only the volume metric, it will tell you that it's red volume. Red volume usually means selling volume, but that's not how you read it if you understand, volumes. And then bam, we get a big volume spike. And today, the TradingView volume is red and the Tone Vays volume is still green. And the CMF is really high. So this tells me that we're still looking very, very bullish into tomorrow, even though the traditional volume is still red. Well, yeah, we've been talking about the weekly candle for a while. I know I have like back to 500 viewers right now. And yeah, this purple candle is part of Alpha Numerics. We're going to do a video tomorrow on the Financial Summit YouTube channel. So I'm going to turn it off for now, and Matt will tell you all about it tomorrow. We have the second consecutive MRI top, and I think Bitcoin is going to top sometime in the next 10 days. It either has already topped, but I don't think so. I believe we're going higher tomorrow. Here's the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour chart looks very clean, looks very good, looks very bullish as well. 4 hour chart, very bullish on the 4 hour. Once again, you see Tone volume green here, yeah, but traditional volume would have been green there as well. So if I open volume, traditional volume, you can see traditional volume being red, yellow on mine, red, green on mine, red, green on mine. Now they're both red and now they're both green, and I'm expecting a nice breakout. Later today into tomorrow, we're back to 47. This is super bullish. I'm really liking this. Super bullish right now. Looks great. Need to get over this hump. Very short distance. Once we're over 47,000, the sooner we go over 47,000, the more of a rally we're going to have. I'd rather, actually it doesn't matter. It can be done tomorrow, but keep in mind, I think that whatever the news is, there is a high probability of a pullback. Oh, is the Ukrainian currency finally devaluing? I've been expecting it for 6 months. Not that I'm happy about it. I've just been expecting it. Oh, look at this. Look at natural gas. I was so surprised the natural gas went below this horizontal channel. Very, very surprised. Oil is still not moving anywhere. I don't think we have the latest oil data. Today is only Tuesday. 12/22 is the, oh no, wait, we should have more data. Did I skip one? 12/29, we have more data, guys. There is more data. Let me fill out the spreadsheet. Let's see what the Biden administration did last week. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what we got here on the numbers. The Biden administration bought 1,000 barrels of oil. Very interesting. They are able to buy oil without spiking the price of oil. They bought 1 million barrels. That is the biggest purchase by Mr. Joe Biden actually ever in his entire life. This was the biggest purchase into the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is super interesting. It is no, they've come close. I see 900 right there. So he's bought just under 1 million barrels back in August, and they just bought 1 million barrels. That is very surprising. It's even more surprising that the price of oil did not spike. I mean, it spiked last week a little bit, but not significantly. They remain buying oil right here, which is, and we broke down the whole oil in a prior video. This is very, very interesting. They're still not buying the equivalent to what they've sold. Though, don't let the Biden administration fool you. I need to have a new line right here. So this is, oh no, this is still last year. So going forward, right, that's the last one. And now I need equals the sum of this. And we're going to go, for a year, basically. But I'll put it here for now, and then we can always adjust. It'll be like 52 weeks. Yeah, that's close. 52 weeks. So 62. Like that. Bam. All right. So we will see where this goes next year. We'll see where it goes next year. Okay. So remember, yes, he just bought 1 million barrels, but he still sold 18 million barrels for the year. 18 million barrels for the year the Biden administration sold. Interesting. Very interesting. Gold, I'm still bullish. S&P, I'm still bullish. Obviously bullish on NASDAQ as well. Correlation, Bitcoin and the stock market, look how correlated they are today. Very, very, well, they've been correlated. Look at yesterday. Big upswing in the market, big upswing in Bitcoin. They're very correlated, even today. I don't know what happened here. I mean, admit your mistake. Admit you should have never been holding the Litecoin trust and move on with life. Oh, we're going to look at currencies. US dollar. Whoa, what a beautiful MRI buy 2 weeks ago on the US dollar. I am now bullish on the US dollar. I'm just going to take this arrow and move it here. I am bullish on the US dollar. I expected us to just pull back off of this MRI top and then So this arrow is somewhat in the way. It's still my outlook for the long term. I'm just gonna move it maybe here, like that. Still my outlook for the long term. It's just in the way. I thought the samurai top would only pull back the price a little bit, like for like 4 weeks. I didn't anticipate the samurai top to pull back the price all the way down to the lows into a new MRI low. But the samurai, I need to get rid of this blue line. What the? Yeah, this thing is. I'm gonna get rid of this. It's just in the way. Yeah, way easier to read the chart. And now I am looking for a bullish move in the dollar. Euro is gonna look exactly like this, but in reverse. Probably an MRI top. No, it's not. Yeah, this candle kind of threw a little wrench in it. Yes, they match on the MRI buy, but MRI bottom, but they're not matching on the MRI top. I don't think USD affects stocks all that much. I do want to take a look at the Russian currency and at the Ukrainian currency. Here's the Russian ruble. The Russian ruble is appreciating against the dollar, which to me tells me that the world is gaining confidence in the ruble. And let's see what's happening here. Yep, there it goes. This was the big fear. This was the big fear that the United States, this is what it says. This says that the United States is no longer financing the Ukrainian government. This is when the United States took full-on responsibility of maintaining the peg of the Ukrainian currency. This is where the United States is paying Ukrainians their salary. And because the United States is paying Ukrainians their salary, the Ukrainian government does not need to devalue their currency. Their currency is backed by the US dollar. It's a one-to-one peg. If the US is paying, like the United States sends dollars to Ukraine, obviously 50 to 80% of those dollars get siphoned off by the Ukraine being the most corrupt country in the world, and it was this way before the war, by the way. And after that, whatever money's left is being used to convert to the pegged Ukrainian currency to pay the Ukrainian people, the soldiers, the government employees, whoever, right? And this right here says the U.S. government is still sending money to Ukraine. It gets corrupted, so they steal a bunch, and then there's not enough money left to pay the Ukrainian people. So because there's not enough money left to pay the Ukrainian people, they are devaluing the Ukrainian currency so that they can use less US dollars to convert to the same amount of Ukrainian currency. And now they're paying that Ukrainian currency to their employees. And if their employees now need to convert that currency into Bitcoin or dollars or rubles or whatever else they want to convert to, or euros, they're going to have to start paying through the nose. I've been anticipating this. Sooner or later, the peg was going to break, and the United States will not be able to pay every Ukrainian employee because remember, at least 80% of the money America sends to Ukraine is going right into like Zelensky and Zaluzhny and, you know, anyone else with first access to money. I mean, the bribes have to come first, and then people get paid. I mean, the Ukrainian currency is going to collapse. The moment the US pulls out, the Ukrainian currency goes into hyperinflation. I've said this before. The moment the Ukrainian currency goes into hyperinflation, the ratio between the Ukrainian hryvnia and the Russian ruble goes beyond one to one. The moment the Russian currency is valued higher than the Ukrainian currency, the Russian government can offer to pay the Ukrainian government employees, the Ukrainian soldiers, they can offer them a ruble salary instead of a Ukrainian hryvnia salary. And when that happens, you will be surprised how many Ukrainian soldiers will switch sides. Because a lot of these soldiers are fighting for money. A lot of these soldiers are forced to fight. This is one of the issues with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. A lot more, like the percentage of Russian soldiers that are fighting voluntarily is actually way higher than the percentage of Ukrainian soldiers that are there fighting voluntarily. And while they're getting paid for it, they're still fighting. Like, yeah, many are fighting for their country, but many would love to have peace, which they should have had back in March. Right. The moment the ratio flips between the Ukrainian currency and the Russian currencies, and remember, they all speak Russian, right? Every Ukrainian understands Russian. Russia will instantly offer them salaries in the Russian ruble. And you'll be surprised how many government employees switch to be paid because their priority is feeding their family. Their priority is not, fighting for Ukrainian land. Their priority is feeding their family. Their priority is not to get killed and to feed their family. And if Russia is going to offer to pay them in their currency, they'll do it. They'll do it. But that will only happen after the Russian currency is stronger than the Ukrainian one, dollar for dollar. Yeah, this is a very serious situation for Ukraine. This is a huge problem for Ukraine. It's only devalued 4%, but it can get away in a hurry. I mean, look what happened before, right? Look what happened before. This was the peak since 2018, and then it broke the peak by the same amount, 4%. It stuck around for, a few months, and then bam, 25% devaluation in 1 week. I mean, do you want to be holding this currency when it's going to devalue 25% in 1 week? That's a problem. Well, whoever asked me to look at this, thank you. I have not paid attention. I got, so used to it being pegged to the US dollar for so long. 25% devaluation incoming. Yeah, it is not going well for Ukraine right now without the US support. And they lost their good chance for a peace deal a year and a half ago. So 2 years ago now. What am I saying? Year and a half ago. 2 years ago. 2 years ago was, and then even a year ago, there was still, a peace on the table. There's no peace on the table. Russia's not giving them an option anymore. Well, Russia pulled out. They're done. They tried to negotiate a very favorable peace deal for Ukraine in March of 22 when they attacked. They were still, negotiating for an entire year and change, while taking, land that belonged to Ukraine. And now there's no peace on the table. That's it. Russia's waiting for an unconditional surrender. They're not putting a peace on the table. It's over. Ukraine, I mean, Zelensky he really fucked over the Ukrainian people. It's really bad. Really, really bad. Like, there's no peace on the table. It's not going to happen. This is why there's no election in Ukraine coming up. If there is an election, Zelensky is going to be gone and probably to Miami in his billion-dollar mansion. Didn't his mother-in-law just buy a massive $30 million house in somewhere in the Middle East or something? Like UAE or Qatar or Turkey. I don't even remember anymore. You can't keep track. It's hard to keep track how many $10 to $30 million homes the Zelensky family is buying all over the world. It's impossible to keep track. Anyway. I think I got to get going, guys. Egypt. Thank you. I knew it was a Middle Eastern country. Egypt is technically Africa, but it's Middle East to me. It's on the African continent. It's a Middle Eastern country. Thank you. It was Egypt. Yeah. I mean, God knows how many distant cousins he has that have also bought. Man, he is really diversifying. I mean, he should be. He's what Pelosi dreams to be. Man, Zelensky's a billionaire. He's got $30 million homes all over the world. And by the way, and I was saying this the moment the conflict started. Let's take a look at yields. We haven't looked at yields in forever. Uh-oh, you guys see what I see? MRI warning candle came through. It's unlikely we're going to get an MRI bottom, but the warning candle is good enough. Look at that bounce in the yield. I think the yield's going to go up. I think the yield's going to go back up. 10-year yield was almost at 5%. It's dropped a bit to 4. I think it's going back to 5. I think the yield's going to stay high. MSTR is down. Interesting. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe people are pulling their money out of MSTR in order to have cash to buy into the ETF. How are the Bitcoin miners doing? Bitcoin miners are holding steady. Bitfarms down a smidge. CleanSpark down a smidge. UAE president sarcastically told Netanyahu to ask Zelensky for money. That's funny. That is funny. Is that true? That is funny. How do you spell galaxy? How do they spell it? Did I misspell? Oh, I forgot the A. Sorry. It looks just like the mining stocks. I don't have any speculation for January 23rd. Still way too far away. I'll wait. Let's see what the ETF news is. It's possible the ETF might be delayed till January 23rd. How funny would that be? All right, guys. I think I gotta get going. Hey, please subscribe to the Financial Summit YouTube channel. We will try to stream there tomorrow about the price action with the SEC and what they announce. This channel also has less spam in the comments. This was a great podcast. If you have not listened to this podcast, make sure to listen to it. I'll put the link in the chat, in the YouTube chat. And definitely subscribe because there will be content here tomorrow. Let's see if we can break 2,000 subscribers. We're just 1.4 thousand. There will be content coming on here. Also, lots of free educational content. Tone-based volume eventually. I mean, look, if the Financial Summit starts making money, this will be a for-profit YouTube channel, unlike the Tone Vays channel. And once there is, money to hire assistants and developers, then we can release all of these indicators for free. We can, start putting out educational channel shows for free. So there will be ads on this channel. There will be advertisements on this channel. But that will pay for the best free content on YouTube. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. And I will see you all on the next one. Keep in mind, the next Financial Summit. Oh, I love that castle. It's great. The next Financial Summit is scheduled for Maldives a little over a year away. Keep you guys posted on that. Bye, guys. Yeah, if you want to hear what I plan to do with my GBTC position, this is the podcast to watch right here or listen to. It was on Twitter Spaces. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Hopefully moon soon. We'll all have these moon apartments.